Your attention please. Malaysia Airlines flight MH1162, MH1162 to Penang has now been changed to Gate BA. Gate BA. Thank you.
If someone asks you about airport or airline industry, what is the first thing that you could ever imagine? Well, for me, the first thing that I could ever imagine is the airport are full with people who want to travel. The airport is such a busy place that we could ever imagine. There will be people run here and there trying to catch their flights because they already late. And at the departure hall, there will be full of people waiting for the flights. We could see so many reactions from every passenger's face at that time. We can see their happy face, sad face, tired face, and many more. All we could ever imagine is this industry will never collapse, because in this modern world, people travel each and every day from one place to another place using airplanes, and everyone depends on this airline industry. And we also know that this industry gain a lot of profit from its businesses. But it started to change whenever COVID-19 virus outbreak hit all around the globe. From travel restriction to flight cancellation, the airline industry has been the hardest hit industry during the COVID-19 pandemic. Before this, we can see the airport full with people, but due to COVID-19, the airport is empty and quiet. And we also can see the empty airplanes. There are no more flights that people waiting every day. People also afraid to travel due to COVID-19. The airline industry faces a big loss in their history. These are the impact of COVID-19 virus to the airline industry. In this video, we will discuss more about the impact of COVID-19 to the airline industry in Malaysia. In 2019, a pneumonia of unknown cause was detected in Wuhan, China, and was first reported to the World Health Organization WHO country office in China on 31st December, WHO has consequently declared it a global pandemic. It has taken the entire world by storm, spreading like a wildfire. Since then, the world has faced major challenges in all areas of human endeavor: political, social, economic, demographic, among others. Today, we see the impact of COVID-19 is having gradual effect, like the Asian financial crisis in 1997, which is deemed as one of the worst economic crises Malaysia has ever faced. Malaysia experienced a drop in overall economic activities, and it subsequently spilled on businesses. The contraction of the economy would begin with the diminishing of the travel and tourist sector that hit all the airlines around the globe. Malaysia's airline Berhad (MAB) is one of the examples of the aviation company that are affected by the virus outbreak. By the first week of January 2020, the airline was on code yellow, which is out of yellow, amber, and red, and had activated their crisis center. Then Malaysia issued the Movement Control Order (MCO), and the borders started to be closed. By late March, MAB had lost 96% of capacity, although they had an obligation as national carrier to operate key destinations. MAB continued to serve the nation and the network by maintaining domestic and international connectivity, mostly to facilitate essential movement. Despite the difficulty of organizing this with governments and embassies, they organized rescue and repatriation flights around the world to return citizens to their home countries. MAB also ensured global supply chains are maintained for the most time-sensitive supplies via their cargo arm, MAB Cargo. The drop in tourists and travel following the pandemic is a crucial issue hurting the aviation sector, since a big number of international and domestic flights are being cancelled all over the world to prevent the virus from spreading. Malaysia's government cancelling the visa of foreign people, and Malaysia has been under Movement Control Order (MCO) since the first quarter of 2020 until now. Also, the Prime Minister announced a nationwide total lockdown from 1st June to 28 June 2020, which was imposed on social and economic sector. All the pace of pandemic recovering strategies from the world and Malaysia's government are one of the major reasons behind the temporary slowing down of the aviation industry and all businesses related. The global aviation industry reported is segmented into passenger airlines, cargo airlines, aircraft manufacturing companies, airport managing companies, catering, and other service providing companies, out of which passengers airline segment is expected to get affected most along with catering and other service providing companies. Businesses such as duty-free outlets and food outlets in the Kuala Lumpur International Airport (KLIA) and all airports in Malaysia experienced a significant loss since the pandemic started, as there is a huge drop of customers visiting the airports. The staff of Malaysia Airlines such as stewards, stewardess, captains, and managers is affected as well. Most of them are facing job loss. MAB asked its 13,000 employees to take voluntary unpaid leave as the spread of coronavirus (COVID-19) takes a heavy toll on airlines' bottom line. According to documents seen by the theedgemarket.com, the national carrier is offering all employees the option of taking 3 months of no pay leave or 5 days of no pay leave per month for at least 3 months, starting April. The voluntary unpaid leave program is extended to employees employed by subsidiaries of Malaysian Aviation Group (MAG), such as MAB Cargo, MAB Engineering, Firefly, and Mosswings. CEO of MAB Group, Captain Isham Ismail, announced a 10% pay decrease for senior management as part of operational cost-cutting initiatives. They will also forgo their allowances. This scenario happened because the company wants to cut losses and save them from bankruptcy. Furthermore, since the introduction of Movement Control Order (MCO) on 18 March, airline companies nationwide have been forced to halt their operation and ground large part of their fleets. According to Transport Minister Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong, Malaysia's aviation industry is projected to lose 13 billion this year in 2020 as air travel continues to face travel restriction. This includes 10.9 billion loss from Malaysia-based airlines, Malaysia Airlines Berhad, AirAsia Group Berhad, and Malindo Airways Sdn Berhad, and another 2.1 billion from airport operators, including Malaysia Airports Holding Berhad and Senai Airport Terminal Service Sdn Berhad. In July preliminary session, Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong highlighted that cancelled flights from the 3 local carriers affected 4.316 million passengers, while another 1.211 million passengers postponed their flights. Additionally, some 628,000 passengers were also given refund worth 399 million. AirAsia suffered a record-breaking net loss of 992.89 million in the second quarter that ended June 30, as compared to a net profit of 17.34 million in the same quarter last year. Its revenue plunged by 96% quarter-on-quarter to 118.96 million from 2.92 billion previously. Meanwhile, its affiliate AirAsia X Berhad recently announced that it has run out of money and needs to rise up to 500 million to restart the airlines. both companies have also confirmed the retrenchment of 10% of their 24,000 employees. Air Group Berhad said it has applied for bank loans in its operating countries through various means as it intends to raise 2.4 billion to ease its tight cash flow. It aims to source up to 1 billion from financial institutions while raising the remaining 1.4 billion from equity. AirAsiaX, on the other hand, is not only liquidating its Indonesian-based carrier but will go ahead with restructuring plans by wiping out 63.5 billion worth of debt and slashing its share capital by 90% in order to save its business. Malaysia Airlines, through its restructuring exercise, has reached out to its lessors, creditors, and key suppliers to agree to step discounts to keep the carrier alive. It has appealed for more funding from the country's sovereign wealth fund Khazanah Nasional Berhad, the airline's owner. However, its parent company, Malaysia Aviation Group, foresees the possibility of the carrier shutting down if the restructuring plans fail, as Khazanah explored the option of channeling funds to low-cost carrier Firefly, which could become the country's national airlines. A possibility of a merger between the airlines companies was also discussed earlier this year in 2020. However, such merger seems unlikely now as Khazanah Managing Director Datuk Syahril Rizal Rizwan was quoted to have said that a potential merger would be challenging, citing differing work culture and business model as reasons. The government is assisting the airline industry as much as other tourism-related industry when it introduced the 2020 economic stimulus package. Assistance are mainly in the form of waivers and deferments of payments. For example, temporary deferment of monthly income tax installment payments for 6 months from April to September 2020 was granted for businesses in the tourism sector, as well as temporary exemption from Human Resource Development Fund levies. Through the stimulus package, 500 million is also allocated to provide a temporary 15% discount for the same period on electricity bills to those in the tourism sector, including airlines. MAHB was also given rebates on rental of premise at airport as well as lending the parking charges. The government, however, was clear on its stand on giving financial assistance to bail out local carriers. Financial Minister Tengku Zafrul bin Tengku Abdul Aziz has said that government will not provide financial support to Malaysia Airlines and that any aids was for Khazanah to address. The government has also recently refuted a claim by media portal Niki that it has approved a 1 billion loan by the Finance Ministry, dispersed by a group of local banks under the government's Dana Jamin Prihatin Guarantee Scheme. Overall, the impact of COVID-19 on international passenger seat capacity and airline gross passenger operating revenues is unprecedented. According to studies that made by researchers, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused havoc in the world's economic, political, and social institutions. The Malaysian economy and aviation sector particularly have been in a meltdown, which had been thrown into a huge crisis. Some of the negative impacts on the Malaysian aviation industry include closure of airports and banning of flights, increasing industry debt profile, negative impact on tourism, and severe loss of jobs. In terms of future outlook, it will be quite a while before the sector recovers, and whenever it reopens, the most immediate visible change will be social distancing, contactless travel with passengers needing to be fit to travel. Furthermore, there will be more activity in the digital space, and majority of flight operations are taking place on digital platforms. There are a few suggested action for airlines industry could apply. For the following years, we must live with the COVID-19 like any other flu and consider this virus as an endemic disease. The travel and tourism industry will be opened slowly, and the aviation industry will be as active as before as pandemic happened. In order to respond to market changes, planning method for scheduling, pricing, and revenue management will rely more on incremental planning and revisions. To better match supply and demand, flight scheduling will rely more on clean sheet scheduling and schedule modification. A permanent task force will be established in the office to monitor cash flow and comes up with new strategies to produce cash flow for liquidity.